Welcome to week 3 of the Dayton 500 Race for Education for UNCF. So I want to take just a minute again to thank all of our employees who have sponsored race cars. And I want to thank our sponsors who have either taken racetrack sponsorships or sign sponsorships. And I want to make an announcement. We've actually reached 118 cars this week, which is the highest weekly total we've had since we started this last year. So again, I tip my hat. I thank all of you who have invested in this weekly racing, and thank you for helping us reach 118 cars. But we still have week 4 to go. We'd love to get that total up even higher if we can. So if you're out there and you want to take a car, please take another car. Please help us get above 118 for our final race next week in week 4 before we go into the final championship race with our 8 finalists who are either our 4 first place finishers or our 4 second place finishers from our 4 weekly races. So with that, we're going to move into round 1 racing in week 4 of the Dayton 500 Race for Education for UNCF. I'm sorry, let me start with our pace cars. So we're going to send our pace cars down the track just to test everything and make sure everything is working properly. So here go the pace cars. And we had a good run, so everything looks clear. So we're going to get set. Pit crew, looks like we're all ready. We're going to start with round 1. In round 1, leading off, we have Carl Keith, our county auditor, in the Ford Mustang. And we have Marcia Baskin from the recorder's office in the Leeway race car. These are both weekly racers. So we have Auditor Carl Keith against Marcia Baskin from the recorder's office. Winner is Marcia Baskin. For our next race, we have Uchenna Youngblood from BCCIT in the Viper, and we have Yvetta Hawley from Public Health Services in the Acura NSX. So we have Uchenna against Yvetta. Pit crew, who we got? We have Uchenna in a very tight race. Next up, Nehemiah Cormley from B&V in the 1941 Willys against Joseph Sakar, BCCIT in the 56 Ford. So we have Nehemiah in lane 1 against Joe Sakar in lane 2. And we have a problem. We need to go and pause for a second. We paused the race for just a moment because we had a technical issue. Nehemiah's originally chosen car, which was the 41 Willys, had a body type that we didn't recognize was too wide for the track. So we had to go in and swap out this car for a very similar car, but the body is not quite as wide. So Nehemiah Quarterly is now racing a white hot rod with similar body style, but not quite as wide, so it fits in the starting gate. So we're gonna restart this race that never really happened with a car that Nehemiah has a chance to win with because it will actually go down the track from the starting gate. So we have Nehemiah Cormley from BMV in the hot rod against Joe Sakar from BCCIT in the 56 Ford. So we're going to get started again in round 1 of the Dayton 500. Nehemiah against Joe Sakar. And the winner is Joe Sakar. For the next race, we have Bill Dragalis from Juvenile Court in the Chrysler 300 against Helen Can't Catch This Jones Kelly in the Corvette C7 from Adamus. So we have Bill in 1 and Helen in 2. Winner is Bill. Next up, we have Derek Jones from BCCIT in the Nomad against Doug Thompson from Adamus in the Mustang. Derek against Doug. Winner is Derek. For our next race, we have Michael London from Job and Family Services in the Camaro against Deborah Bellamy from Juvenile Court in the Nissan Fairlady. So we have Michael against Deborah. Winner is Deborah. Next race, we have Jessica Abernathy in the 58 Corvette against Chris Williams in the Shelby Mustang. Jessica against Chris. Winner is Chris. Next up, Karen Wright from Children's Services Division in the Camaro SS against Sean Galding from the Public Defender's Office in the Buick Regal police car. Karen against Sean. Winner is Sean Galding. Next race, we have Billy Richardson, the Lamborghini from the Municipal Court. Derek Jones is back from BCCIT in a Honda Civic. So we have Billy against Derek. Winner is Billy Richardson. Next race, we have Tina Rizak Regal from Animas in the 65 Impala against Cedric McGee, Human Resources in the Crate Racer. So we have Tina against Cedric. Winner is Tina. Next up, we have Jamie Norris from OMB in the Nissan Skylight against Norm Carpenter from BCCIT in the Drag Mercury. Jamie against Norman. Winner is Jamie. For our next race, we have Bruce Barcelo from Adamus in the Camaro convertible against Brian Buttry from Juvenile Court in the Pollinator, which looks like a Nissan NSX to me. So we have Bruce against Brian. Winner is Brian. They come from behind victory. For our next race, Christopher J. Shoup in the Volkswagen pickup from Engineering and Larry Sexton from Adamus in the Rip Rod Hot Rod. So we have Christopher against Larry. Winner is Christopher. Next up, Uchenna Youngblood is back from BCCIT in the 41 Willys Coupe against Amanda Wheeler from Education in the Evil Weevil. So we have Uchenna against Amanda. Winner is Uchenna. For our next race, Uchenna is right back again from BCCIT in the Honda S2000 against Maurice James from JFS Family Assistance Division in the Spectre race car. So we have Uchenna against Maurice. Winner is Maurice. Our next race is Michelle Pierce Mobley from Stillwater Center in the High Beam Racer against John Parks from OMB in the 70 Chevelle. So we have Dr. Michelle Pierce Mobley against John Parks. Winner is Michelle. For our next round one race, we have Deborah Bellamy back again from juvenile court in the 56 Ford against Rita Harden from administrative services in the Acura NSX. So we have Deborah against Rita. Winner is Rita in a come from behind win. Next up, we have our Sheriff Rob Strick in the 11 Dodge Charger police car against Larry Sexton from Adamus in a Dodge Charger. So we have Sheriff Strick against Larry Sexton. Winner is Sheriff Strick. What? I'm sorry. I got to refer to my pit crew. I can't. Winner is Larry Sexton in lane 2. I'm corrected. It was Larry Sexton lane 2. I should have deferred to the pit crew. Some of these races go back and forth and they finish very closely and it's hard to see from here. I should have automatically referred to the pit crew. Next up, we have Doug Thompson from Adamus in the Mitsubishi Eclipse against Uchenna Youngblood, who is back from BCCIT in the Super B. So we have Doug Thompson against Uchenna Youngblood. So I think we need to rerun that race. We had a complete wipeout midway through the race. Okay, we just took a second pause in the race because we identified another technical issue with one of the cars. So in Uchenna's original car, which was the blue Chevelle, there was a problem with the rear axle, which wouldn't allow it to stay on the track. So we're removing it from the race, and we swapped it out with the most similar car we could identify, which is a 65 Bonneville. So Chevelle's out, the Bonneville's in, and we're going to rerun that race. It just didn't finish. So here we go. We've got Doug Thompson from Adamus Ford in the Mitsubishi Eclipse against Uchenna Youngblood from BCCIT in the 65 Bonneville. So we have Doug against Uchenna. And the winner is Uchenna. For our next race, we have Nehemiah Cormerly is back from BMV in the Ford F-150 against Kamar Gage from DDS in the bread box truck. So we have Nehemiah against Kamar. Winner pit crew is Nehemiah. In our next race, we have Bethany Colby Laufenberger from BCCIT in the Nissan 350Z against Larry Sexton from Adamus in the Carbonator race car. So we have Bethany against Larry. Winner is Bethany. Next up, we have Vic Vrabel from Adamus in the Nissan GT against Justin Stevens from BMV in the Camaro Special Edition. So we have Vic against Justin. Winner is Justin. For our next race in round 1, we have Joe Sakar from BCCIT in the fire truck against Uchenna Youngblood back again from BCCIT in the Ford Mustang race car. Joe against Uchenna. This is a BCCIT race. And they come from behind win, Uchenna wins. Next, we have Deborah Bellamy from Juvenile Court in the Mazda Miata against Pam Combs from our supervisor at DDS, superintendent at DDS in the Hot Wheels shoebox car. So we have Deborah Bellamy against Pam Combs. Winner is Pam Combs. For our next race, we have Tina Rizak Rogal from Adamus in the custom Chevy truck against Margaret Carper from the prosecutor's office in the Ford GT Racer. So we have Tina against Margaret. Winner is Tina. Our next race, we have two elected officials. We have our Sheriff Rob Strick in the Lamborghini Police Cruiser against our auditor Carl Keith in the Corvette convertible. So we have Sheriff Rob Strick against auditor Carl Keith. Winner is pit crew auditor Carl Keith. Next up, we have Doug Thompson from the Adamus board is back again in the Dodge Daytona. And our auditor Carl Keith is right back in this race in the Dodge Challenger. Doug against Carl. Winner is Doug. Next race, Margaret Carper from the prosecutor's office in the El Viento Yellow against Lori Drain from HSPD in the Volkswagen Beetle drag racer. Margaret against Lori. And Lori was our week 1 champion. She's back in week 3 in a different car. Winner is Lori in the VW. Next up, we have Tawana Jones in the Z-Rod from Community Economic Development against Norm Carpenter from BCCIT in the SWAT truck. Tawana against Norm. In a runaway race, we have Norm in the SWAT truck. Next, we have Kevin Stout from the auditor's office in the Ford Focus against Liz Mahar from HSPD in the Plymouth Barracuda. So we have Kevin against Liz. Winner is Liz in a very tight finish. Next, we have Clarence Rahman from Community Economic Development in the Porsche 356 against Commissioner Judy Dodge in the Volkswagen Beetle. So we have Clarence Rahman against Commissioner Judy Dodge. Winner is Clarence. Looks like we're a little bit more than midway through round 1. We have Tristan Quasim from HSPD in the Cadillac ASATS against Margaret Carper from the prosecutor's office in the Hammer race car, track Hammer race car. We got Tristan against Margaret. Pit crew, winner is Tristan. Next up, we have Alice Reed from Stillwater Center in the 57 Roadster against Carrie Gray from the Montgomery County Commission Office in a Volkswagen. Carrie was our winner for week 2. So we have Alice against Carrie. Winner is Carrie. Next up, we have Jenny Lesniak from HSPD Team Homeless in the Aston Martin against Julia Gurley from Facilities Management in the Chevy Nova. So we have Jenny against Julia. Winner is Jenny in a come from behind victory. Nehemiah Cormley is back from BMV in the orange bread box truck against Larry Sexton back from Adamus in the surf and turf wagon. So we have Nehemiah against Larry. Winner is Nehemiah. Next, we have Gwen Everly from Community and Economic Development in the Accurate NSX against Margaret Carper, who is back from the prosecutor's office in the El Viento Orange. Gwen against Margaret. Winner is Margaret. Uchenna Youngblood from BCCIT is back in a Camaro against Bill Loy from the auditor's office in the speed box. So Uchenna against Bill. Winner is Bill in the speed box. Our next race, we have Carol Erisman from Human Resources in the Ford Fiesta. Carol finished second last week in week 2 against Kelly Gears from the Office of Strategic Initiatives in the white Porsche 934. So we have Carol against Kelly. Winner is Kelly. Next, back is Helen Can't Catch This Jones Kelly from Adamus in the Honda Civic against Miranda Almy from JFS FAD in the Ford GT. So we have Helen against Miranda. Winner is Helen in the Honda. Next, Chris Williams is back from Business Services in the Roadster against Justin Stevens, who is back from BMV in the Mercedes AMG. So you have Chris against Justin. Winner is Chris. Next race, we have Jessica Jenkins from HSPD Team Homeless in the Porsche 934 Turbo against Claire Oswald, also from HSPD in the 50 Mercury. So this is an HSPD race. Winner is Claire in the Mercury. Tina Rizak Regal is back from Adamus in the Dodge Challenger against Maurice James from JFS FAD, who is back in the Subaru. So we have Tina against Maurice. Winner is Tina. I may be pronouncing, I'm not sure if it's Maurice or Maris.
Maurice.
Maurice, I was correct, it's Maurice. Next up, back from DDS, we have Kamar Gage in a red truck against Teresa Walker in a Datsun 240Z. So we have Kamar against Teresa. Winner is Kamar. Next race, we have Joe Sakar, who is back from BCCIT in the purple tail dragger against Miranda Almy, who is back from JFS FAD in the Corvette Stingray. So we have Joe against Miranda. Winner is Miranda in the Corvette. For our next race, we have Jerry Rev 'em Up Piggies from HSPD in the Plymouth Barracuda against Margaret Carper, who is back from the prosecutor's office in the drag racer funny car. So we have Jerry against Margaret. Winner is Margaret in a come from behind victory. For our next race, we have Matt Gimperline from HSPD Team Homeless in the Datsun 240Z against Mary Pat Globig from HSPD in the tail dragger. So we have a race for HSPD. Winner is Mary Pat. Next race, Kevin Stout from the auditor's office is back, this time in a Toyota Supra, against Jim Brandenburg from BCC IT in a Monte Carlo SS. So we have Kevin against Jim. Winner is Kevin. This next race, we have Melinda Cheney from Adamus in the 67 Chevelle against Miranda Alme, who is back again from JFS FAD in a 41 Willys. So we have Melinda against Miranda. Winner is Miranda. Continuing in round one, Helen Jones Kelly is back from Adamus in the 64 Riviera against Amanda Wheeler from Education in the Chevy Corvette. So we have Helen against Amanda. Winner is Helen. For our next race, we have Sarah Fields from JFS Child Support, who was our overall champion from last year, against Michael London, also from JFS in our records area. So we have a JFS race. We have Sarah against Michael. And we have Michael as the winner in a very close race. Next, Kevin Stout is back from the auditor's office, this time in a 71 Mustang Mach 1 against Deborah Bellamy, back from juvenile court in a 2005 Mustang. So we have two Mustangs racing, a 71 against an 05, Kevin against Deborah. And the 71 Mustang with Kevin wins. John Parks is back from OMB, the Buick Grand National, against John Payne from Public Health Chronic Disease in a McLaren. So we have John against John. The winner will be John. And we have John Parks as the winner. Next up, we have Daniel McNeil from BCCIT in the Burger Mobile against Tina Rijash Rogal from Adamus, who is back in the Ford Falcon race car. So we have Daniel against Tina. And the winner is Dan in the Burger Mobile. Next race, we have Chris Williams, who's back from Business Services in the Carbonic race car against Jerry Pegues, Speed Racer from HSPD in the Nissan Skyline. So we have Chris against Jerry. Winner is Jerry. Kevin Stout is back once again. Auditor's office, this time in a Tesla Model 3. Jenny Lesniak is back, this time from HSPD Team Homeless, this time in a Toyota Supra. So we have Kevin against Jenny. We're going to rerun that. We had a double wipeout. All right, for the rerun, again, we have Kevin in the Tesla in lane 1. We have Jenny, HSPD in lane 2. Hopefully we'll keep the cars on the track this time. And we have Jenny in lane 2. as the winner. All right, our next race, we have Jessica Abernathy from HSPD in the Mercedes AMG against Bill Loy from the auditor's office in the fire chief van. So we have Jessica against Bill. Winner is Bill Loy. For our next race, we have Christopher Shoup from the engineering in the Studebaker, I believe that's a tow truck, against Maurice James again from JFS FAD in the, looks like a Firebird funny car. So we have Christopher against Maurice. Winner is Christopher. As we near the end of round one, this race, we have Eric Schaefer from Juvenile Court in the Time at Taxi. Jessica Abernathy is right back again from HSPD in the Toyota Supra. So we have Eric against Jessica. Winner is Eric Schaefer. And now we have our final race in round one of week number 4. We have Helen Can't Catch This Jones Kelly from Adamus in the 64 Riviera against Stephen Roberts from the Board of Elections in the Corvette Grand Sport Roadster. So we have Helen against Stephen. Winner is Helen. And that concludes round one in week 4.